can't talk with you. Okay. Really and truly good evening to each and every one of you. It has been a very, very long year for us, and we are delighted to be back in chambers, and we're delighted that each and every one of you is here tonight. With that said, I'm calling to order the City Commission meeting of May 4th, 2021 to order, and I'm going to request the City Clerk to call the roll.
Mayor Weissman.
Here.
Vice Mayor Shelley.
Yes.
Commissioner Evans.
Present.
Commissioner Friedland. Commissioner Landman. Here. Commissioner Dr. Marks.
Here.
Commissioner Narodsky.
Present.
Mr. Wasson.
Here.
And Mr. Wolpin.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Gabriella Sartan, are you here? I can't see. No? She's on her way. Okay. So, Ethan, would you like to get up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Ethan, come on up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Really, the first order of business we have is the election of our vice mayor, and we do this twice a year. So I'm going to ask for a nomination for the person to be nominated for the position of vice mayor. Commissioner Shelley?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Dr. Linda Marks.
Thank you. Do I have a second to that nomination?
Yes, second.
Seconded by Commissioner Landman. Do I have any other nominations? Commissioner Narodsky, just give me an up or down with the thumb, and we can use that. Anything?
I fully support Dr. Linda Marks.
Okay, fine. I have no other nominations. The field is closed. I'll open the item for public comment, and I'll request members of the public, if they have any comments about the nomination of Dr. Linda Marks for vice mayor, you can come up now. Is there anyone that wishes to address us? With that said, then I will close it for public comment, and I will ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans.
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland. Yes. Commissioner Landman.
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks.
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky.
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley.
Yes.
And Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm going to ask the city manager if there's a request for any deletions or emergency additions to our published agenda.
Mayor, not at this time.
Thank you. Special presentations is next, and I'm going to ask everybody that's here from Aventura Hospital and Medical Center, starting with Trish Stevens, the Chief Medical Officer, Bianca Larice, Communications and Community Engagement, Stacy Roskin, Chief of the Medical Staff, Jeff Scheck, Chair of the Board, Barbara Spiegler, also Board Member, Board of Trustees. Would you please meet me down here? This is really very special for me. I also have been on this board for better than a decade, and I'm so proud of the recognition that the hospital has received. So without further ado, Whereas the Aventura Hospital and Medical Center is located in the city of Aventura. Whereas in February 2021, the hospital announced the achievement of the Health Grades 2021 America's 250 Best Hospitals Award, placing it in the top 5% of nearly 4,500 hospitals nationwide for its superior clinical outcomes. Whereas the Aventura Hospital and Medical Center was also ranked as one of Health Grades America's 100 best hospitals for orthopedic surgery and spine surgery for 2 years in a row. That's 2020 and 21. As well as receiving a Critical Care Excellence Award for 2021 and Stroke Care Excellence Award for both 20 and 21. Whereas the City of Aventura would like to recognize these momentous achievements and congratulate the Aventura Hospital and Medical Center on striving to always deliver excellence and providing top quality care across multiple specialties and areas. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Enid Wiseman, as mayor and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, do hereby proclaim May 4th, 2021 as Aventura Hospital and Medical Center Day. Congratulations, all of you. This is amazing for our community. Mr. Scheck, Ms. Siegler, thank you for the guidance you have given the board over this time. Stacy, you've been there as long as I have, being chief of the medical staff. It hasn't been easy, not especially this year. Trish, an amazing job. You walked in and took over. This is from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for what all of you do for this community. Thank you. Would someone like to say anything? I don't care. I've got more to do.
On behalf of Aventura Hospital and Medical Center, a grateful thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the support that we receive from the community in the outpouring well wishes when we go through COVID time. And with the community rally around us, we were able to achieve great things, especially our quality and clinical outcomes. We have amazing members of the boards that guide us. We have amazing leadership from the medical staff. Our administration couldn't have asked for more. And we're here to serve the community and to elevate the community healthcare. And we hope to be your best trusted partner in healthcare for years to come. Bottom of our heart, thank you.
Let me ask the rest of the commission to come down while I'm speaking.
I just wanted to echo that and also thank the city for their support and the wonderful administration at Aventura Hospital for their support and guidance, and of course the hard work and dedication from all the doctors and the nursing staff at the hospital. We couldn't have achieved this without all of you, so thank you.
Yeah, not much to add. We're really lucky to have this hospital here, and the amount of resources, the new wing that many of you see when you drop by. Our meetings, they spend we have a 2-hour meeting. They spend an hour and 55 minutes talking about how can we be better, how can we do better, and we're just, as board members, we're really proud to be on this board and thank everyone at Aventura Hospital. Picture. I didn't know that.
We always say where we put the mayor on in front of the top. We're vaccinated, right? The CDC said if you're vaccinated, you can have your mask off. Whoa!
Thank you.
Stay down there. The commission just stay down there. Because, yeah, Denise, let's just stay down there because this is ours. You know, we like to think that we run a pretty lean, mean machine here in Aventura. And one of the departments that has just blown me away happens to be not one that gets a lot of attention. There's no glitz, there's no fanfare, there's no balloons, there's no hurrahs, because it's called Public Works. And I will tell you, if you want to know what Public Works does, drive around Country Club Drive. The curbing under Joe Kroll's leadership is second to none. You will not find that quality work in any other city in Dade County, maybe in the rest of the state. I mean, outstanding dedication to the job and making this city the city of excellence. So, Joe, let me ask you to come up. Let me ask my new vice mayor, because I just read one and my voice is a little tired. If you will start, and I will
finish.
Yeah, if you'd like.
Whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of enhancing the health, safety, comfort, and quality of life for all Aventura residents, businesses, and tourists alike. And whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenship is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewer, streets, public buildings, and parks. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depend on these facilities and services. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the support, the efforts, and skills of public works officials and personnel.
Whereas this year's theme, Stronger Together, is a tribute to the vital role that Public Works plays in working together with our citizens to provide positive impact on all of our communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Enid Wiseman, as mayor and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, do hereby proclaim May 16th through May 22nd as National Public Works Week. Joe, what an amazing job. Would you like to say something?
For a second. Yes, thank you. On behalf of the Public Works staff and myself, thank you for the recognition, and we're going to continue to keep the city as excellent as we can.
Steve somebody. Steve somebody? Not Steve Bishop anymore. Steve somebody?
Joe, we'll stand, Joe, stand between the mayor and we'll be good. Well, I'll put it on.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we took it off.
Okay, next is our employee recognition, and I'm going to ask our city manager, Ron Wasson, to come to the lectern.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like Indra Sarju to please join me at the podium. It's always the best part of the night for me to recognize people that have been with us for a long time. And Indra, you're getting there. You only have 15 years in. She started with us in 2006. And if you don't know what she does, she takes care of our purchasing as our purchasing manager. I have to tell you, that is a very important job. Anybody over here, sitting here, directors know that if you want to buy something, you better be nice to her, because really a lot of rides on her getting bids done, advertising, sits on review committees for, when we're looking at different contractors to do work for the city. And she really does a great job. If you've ever seen her office, I don't know what's higher, her or her paperwork. Sometimes you really can't see her behind her desk. And she does happen to have a green thumb. So between the exotic plants in her office and her paperwork, she does a great job, and I'm very happy, and she's never turned me down for something that needs to get done quickly. She's fantastic. So I know she's here with her daughter tonight,
Yes.
Diana. If you want to come up, you can stand next to your mom and get this award, or if you're just taking pictures tonight, I don't know. Here's your, you don't have to hold this, but.
Did that already?
Before I go any further, I just would like to take a minute to introduce somebody here. Some of you might be wondering who in the front row is sitting there in a dark suit. I'd like to ask Kevin to just stand up and say hello. He's our new community development director, and you're going to be seeing a lot of him. He has a couple of items on tonight. He doesn't look anything like Joanne, but yeah, I think you're going to be very happy. He's very experienced. He's worked all around our community in Aventura, and he's very well known by a lot of people in his field. We're very lucky to have him, and I just wanted to say.
Kevin, would you like to say a word or two? I think we'll hold questions for now and go on, but Kevin, welcome. Really welcome. The next item has to do with our Youth Advisory Board and the update on the Trader Joe's project. And Kevin, you thought I was being nice. Kevin? Kevin, you thought I was being... Joe, Kevin, it's like I'm talking to kids in school. You thought I was being nice. I was actually stalling for a little time so that Gabby could come in and sit down and take a breath before she comes up to give her report on the Trader Joe's project. But please, when I call your name, would you please stand? And I will tell you, after being in education for better than 4 decades, this is the most amazing group of young people I have ever seen. And the world is in very good hands because you're going to be our future leaders. So please, Lev, Avedon, stand up. So impressive. If I remember, you go to Mass Senior High. All of these kids live in our city. They live in Aventura. Ethan Bazak. Let us in the pledge. Michael Briskin. Chloe Freitas. Megan Shine. Taryn Shine. And Gabby Sartan, if you will come up and give us the report. Gabby will be a freshman at Columbia University in August.
In person. Thank you. So I've come to speak here today on behalf of Aventura's very own Youth Advisory Board and updating the Commission on our work to plant a Trader Joe's in Aventura. As mentioned in my last presentation, we have divided ourselves into 4 groups: an information team, a video and presentation team, a social media team, and a survey team. To start off, the information team has been gathering information on where to place at the Trader Joe's, what the requirements are, and any other grants of intellectual property to the project, which the board could not obtain otherwise. The information team has gleaned a requirement of 120 to 140 minimum parking spots in the chosen site of implementation. Moreover, we have gained knowledge of the company's personal interest of an Aventura location. The video and presentation team has built and promoted a website called Aventura for TJ through Google Sites, which covers the minutes of each meeting as well as as well as updates to the project made by the board. The video and presentation team has likewise been receiving visual aids of survey data and video testimonials of residents interviewed by the not yet mentioned, or rather the aforementioned survey and community outreach team for the final presentation to the commission. The social media team has been planning Instagram takeovers for each team on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to call them Takeover Tuesdays, Takeover Thursdays. So we'll have, for example, the video and presentation team have sat down and screen recorded a Zoom conversation in which they all introduce themselves as well as their roles within that team and in regard to the entire project as a whole. So they will be doing those takeovers. They'll also be doing Q&As through the Instagram in conjunction with the social media team, pressing a routine line of posts, whether they are facts about Trader Joe's or if they're testimonials by residents that we've garnered through the survey. Now, the survey team has been compiling a new survey to gauge more opinionated categorical data using the data from the last survey. That will include questions such as, what is your favorite item from Trader Joe's? As well as, why do you think Trader Joe's is superior to other grocery stores already located in Aventura? Additionally, we've been compiling the over 560 responses we've received on the last survey that we published, and I've been turning that data into visual aids, which we've presented to the video and presentation team to be utilized in the final presentation. Additionally, we've emailed the state legislature Senator Pizzo on the effectiveness as well as how to garner a lobbyist for the project, as well as whether or not there are any connections to up the food chain within Trader Joe's themselves. And as mentioned before, the survey and community outreach team has been interviewing residents around Aventura and asking questions like, why do you want a Trader Joe's in Aventura? Or how would that make your life different? And in such, we're collecting buzzwords as well as sound bites to be used by the video and presentation team and compiling an eye-catching, passionate presentation to the board, which we've decided on a date that it's due by, which is May 31st, since there is going to be a commission meeting on June 1st. That is when we will present the final project and how far we've come, as well as what we will be leaving as the cycle this year of the Youth Advisory Board ends. And so far, that is what we have worked on, and in the future, we will be hoping to use our social media platform a lot more routinely, as mentioned before, making those posts every day in order to maintain circulation of the community, of the followers, of anybody who wants to interact with the page, and building that passion, building that fight within the residents to actually want and demand that Trader Joe's. So we do have that existing demand. Now we just have to make it into something pretty with a bow tie on it. So that is my presentation on behalf of the Youth Advisory Board. And before I finish, I want to commend every single member on the team. They have done an insurmountable amount of work, and I'm just extremely proud of the entire board as a whole and how far we've come in this project. So thank you so much.
And please give her a round of applause. And unbeknownst, Gabby, to you or to our advisory panel, we have a number of developers in the audience today and a number of attorneys who come before us often. You might want to contact Gabby or any member of the youth team and see if we can assist them in putting some of their dreams to reality. So again, Gabby, thank you. If any commissioner would like to address anything at this point, Commissioner Landman?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That was great, a great update. You guys are doing so much in such a short amount of time. So I'm very proud of the work that you're doing. Have you guys had any contact with any Trader Joe's officials?
So yes, the information team has been contacting Trader Joe's officials as in any way that they could. For example, one of our members, Lev, he has gone in person and actually talked to the Trader Joe's employees there at a location, while Ethan has been emailing them, and Chloe has also been emailing them to garner that information digitally. So that is how we came up with the information about the minimum 120 to 140 parking spots. And I believe in the last meeting, we also mentioned that we were planning on the old Babies R Us Plaza. I just wanted to reinforce that fact. I know I forgot to mention that, but we are still set on that being the prime location for now. So, thank you.
Okay, Gabby, outstanding job.
Thank you.
Just so proud of all of you. It takes a team, and we've got a great advisory team. We really do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and once again, I'm so sorry I was late.
Don't be sorry. The traffic has been brutal. All right, next, and we might have something a little special. We have an update from Principal Tricala, our principal from ACES.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. So it's my pleasure to present a video to you for our update from our digital communications classes, and of course, I'll stay for any questions you may have after.
This is an amazing lesson. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Lawson. I'm the art teacher at Aventura City of Excellence Charter School, and recently my principal, Mr. Anthony Tricala, asked the students and I to participate in creating healing, beautiful, uplifting artwork for those who continue to suffer from COVID-19. It is a great honor to participate in such a project and to share love and empathy and compassion for these people. And we are so grateful to be asked. Thank you so much for always thinking of us, because we will always love to share our kindness and help wherever we can.
I feel good that I was able to make people smile even though they're going through such a hard time. I'm happy that I got to help people that are feeling very tough with like the things that they're going through.
Thank you. So what it highlights is really just the experiential education we really try our best to lead up to in everything we do. And it's all hats off to our teachers for coming up with these amazing ideas and implementing them in the classroom. And again, I'm here for any questions you may have for me. All right, awesome, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And it starts with leadership. We're not going to have a report tonight from SOFR, so I'm going to go on to the consent agenda and ask if any member of the commission would like to remove an item from the consent agenda. Okay. Let me ask for a motion for the approval of the items on the consent agenda. Made by Commissioner Friedland, seconded by Commissioner Shelley. I'm going to ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks? And Mayor Weissman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Which brings us to item 7 on our agenda, zoning hearings, quasi-judicial public hearings. I'm going to request that the city attorney read the procedures for the quasi-judicial hearings, and I will request the city clerk to swear in those wishing to offer testimony on items 7A and 7B. Mr. Attorney, can you read the ordinance for item A?
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance for item A is an ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending the official zoning map of the City of Aventura by amending the zoning designation for a 1.55 acre parcel of land located on the east side of Biscayne Boulevard, located at 20955 Biscayne Boulevard, as legally described in Exhibit A to this ordinance, from OP Office Park District to B2 Community Business District, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date. And the quasi-judicial procedures of the city are incorporated into the record for this item and for the following item B. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask for a motion for approval of this ordinance?
Motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Evans. Can I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Landman. And I will say for the record, this is very awkward sitting here. Please let me move back by the next meeting. Because I can't see people raising their hands. If I'm looking here, I'm not seeing it, and it's not fair. I'm going to...
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Could you, sorry. Can you request the city clerk?
I already did that.
She didn't do the oath yet.
Right, because you just read...
Correct.
Right.
Thank you.
I did.
All right, I'm going to be swearing in those who are going to be providing testimony for item 7A or 7B on the agenda. I need you to stand up and raise your right hand at this time. Item 7A or 7B. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion for approval of the ordinance? Made by Commissioner Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Friedland. I'm going to request Community Development Director Kevin Klopp to present the staff report. Prime time.
Good evening again, Mayor, Commission. Is the microphone on? Yeah. Okay, good. A full report was presented to the local planning agency and the City Commission at the City Commission's meeting in April. I'd be happy to read into the record all of that information once again, or with your permission and the city attorneys, if we could just carry all of that testimony and reporting into tonight's meeting, then I'd be available to answer any questions.
That's normally how we run this portion of the meeting, so there's not a problem with that unless anybody has an issue. Okay. This is second reading?
Yes.
So I'm still going to leave it to you.
And I believe a public hearing?
First, does the applicant have any questions or comments for the commission? Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. Let me ask the commission, does this commission have any questions or comments about this item, either to staff or the applicant? Okay, then I'm going to open the item for public comment. And I'm going to request members of the public, if we have any public comment, to state their name and address for the record. Is there anyone who wishes to address this item? Then I'm going to close the item to public comment, and I'm going to ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
The motion passes on second and final reading.
Thank you, and congratulations. I'm going to request that the city attorney to read the resolution for item B.
Thank you, Mayor. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, approving the request by Medical District Developments, LLC, to modify Resolution Number 2020-09 to amend Section 3 of the resolution to increase the floor area ratio from 1.99 to 2.0, to amend Section 7 to add conditions of approval 3A to provide for road construction and alternate access, and to delete condition of approval 5.3, all for the development of a retail office assisted living facility located at 21290 Biscayne Boulevard in the city, providing for recordation and providing for an effective date.
Okay, can I please have a motion for the approval of the resolution? Made by Commissioner Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Landman. I'm going to request that our Community Development Director, Kevin Klopp, to please present the staff report.
Thank you, Mayor, and once again, good evening, Mayor and Commission. Kevin Klopp, Community Development Director. I have been sworn in and would like to enter this staff report into the record. The applicant, Medical District Developments, LLC, is requesting modification of the conditional use approval granted in January of 2020 for the mixed-use development known as 1212 Aventura. The request is to modify conditions 3 and 7 of the approval to allow a floor area ratio increase from 1.99 to 2.0, and to authorize a release of the road construction condition under certain scenarios. The project is a LEED Gold certified, approximately 220,000 square foot office retail assisted living development approved through Resolution 2020-09 on January 7th, 2020. The approvals were for additional lot coverage, height, floor area ratio, and retail uses. Increased floor area ratio from 1.39 to 1.99 was approved as a green building incentive. That incentive allows a floor area ratio of up to 2. And the increase tonight is from that 1.99 to 2. The owner has redesigned a small portion of the building and therefore the increase. The resolution also contained conditions to be fulfilled both before issuance of a building permit and before issuance of certificate of occupancy. That's what we're here to speak about in more detail. In order to facilitate financing and to ensure the road construction goes through, staff has come up with a condition, and I'm just going to summarize that briefly in a slide, if I could, that I have on my screen. I don't know if you see the PowerPoint on your screen. There it is. Okay. In summary, the condition which requires Northeast 214th Street extension to be completed prior to certificate of occupancy is unworkable. An irrevocable letter of credit would be required instead. The extension of that roadway is to be completed when the necessary road widenings are conveyed for public right-of-way purposes. The applicant must provide an alternative vehicle access to the north entrance of the development. That concludes my report. I do have some maps to show you what it is we're speaking about if necessary, and I'd be happy to go through that. In general, what we're speaking about in terms of needing acquisition is on the north side of future Northeast 214th Street, the development being down on this side of the street, and also over here, this is Biscayne Boulevard. A deceleration lane still needs to be dedicated for this roadway project to proceed. So the applicant will put up a letter of credit for that construction to occur once those right-of-way acquisitions occur. The applicant is here tonight. I spoke with him today. The attorney for the applicant today has no concerns with these conditions as written, but wanted me to mention he's available also for questions if necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does the applicant have any comments or questions to address to the commission?
Very briefly. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council, commission. Yes, I've been working with staff on, getting something that works. As you know, our client this project's well underway, anxious to get it completed, and very much anxious to get the other project on the north side completed. This is just for financing, something that we need to get this project moving. Here to answer any questions you may have. I think Mr. Klopp has done a great job of explaining it. But if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. Otherwise, appreciate your support. Thank you.
Do any members of the commission have any questions? I see Commissioner Shelley.
If I'm not mistaken, this was one of the issues, or this issue was tabled for tonight's meeting to give you time to work on your financing modifications. And I think the request that was given to us was because it wasn't palatable that you could get you couldn't get the construction financing completed without having the road completed under the conditions the city, had imposed on the approval. Is that correct?
Generally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So therefore, I understand we're getting a letter of credit to guarantee the implementation of the road if need be. Does that include the cost of the acquisition of the land? Because obviously, are we in privy to that contract at this time? If for some reason there's a default, how do we get the access to buy the land from whoever the seller is at this point?
The letter of credit would be for the design, permitting, and construction of the road, which my client has agreed to completely, and he's got that in place and has already met with FDOT and everything necessary to go forward with that. It would not include the acquisition because that's the only open issue. Frankly, my client a year plus ago was, and Commissioner Shelley, you were the one that raised the question, so I expected a question from you today. You asked him, are you sure you can tie it? And he's so committed to this project and the other project, so excited about it, that he had no doubt. By the way, he's more committed today. The only thing that's happened, and as you know, you've already seen the other project, it's at second reading in June, so that's a reality. The only thing that's happened is he started, you guys have driven by it many times, he started the project. The second phase of the financing, which is obviously critical for him to move forward, they have flagged the condition as, since they're financing Project A, 1212 Aventura, and they're not financing Medical District North, they've raised, you're tying our financing to another project. Nothing about my client's ability to do the project, it's just the financing. So modifying the language.
I understand it, and I appreciate that. Yeah. The question I'm asking is, if for any reason your client has completed the project, and I'm sure he will, and for whatever the reason is, he can't facilitate the closing of the land, which means obviously the road can't be put in. I think this would affect not only this project, but wouldn't it affect everything else going to the west of this project as well? That without that land acquisition, none of that road can be put in. How will that then prohibit the westerly projects from continuing, because they're going to all need this road? Is that correct? So I'm just concerned, do we have a mechanism as a city to ensure that that road gets put in if for any reason Bernardo, I believe, that can't get it done or whatever? Because we understand the bond is there to put the road in if we own the land to put the road on. So I'm just concerned what mechanism, if any, we have as a city, and how will it affect further projects to the west? Could you speak a little louder? You're very muffled when you speak, and it's hard to, that's better. Thank you.
Sure.
You're so high above the microphone.
Yeah.
We tested that a little bit. I can pick it up. How about this? Projects to the north, particularly, could not proceed without dedicating the necessary right-of-way for the access to those projects. I'm not as familiar with projects being proposed to the west.
Well, it's the northwest I'm talking about.
Okay, so north and west,
yes.
Correct. So assuming this applicant or the existing landowners or some future landowner wants to do something with their land on that northwest of this project, they're going to have to dedicate that land for the right-of-way.
Okay, so for this particular project, we have the ability to give auxiliary access to this if we can't acquire that land for something. If something goes wrong, he's going to need access to that building through some sort of road work?
That is correct.
So we do have a mechanism for that at least?
Yes, it would not be the full 214th Street that we all want, but in fact, it's not just a could do, it is a requirement that there be access provided and built by the applicant for that north side.
And is the deceleration lane on Biscayne Boulevard part of what you need to access this?
No.
Okay. So we don't need that to get to this building?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to, because we asked you to come back and address a few things, and I would like to ask our city attorney just to reassure the commission that the city is protected. So please, would you, for the record?
Yes, Mayor, appreciate your asking that. Yes, in my opinion, the city is fully protected the way the item is presently written. And the tabling of the item enabled that to be done and coordinated through community development staff, city manager, and the applicant's attorney. So I feel the city is in a good posture at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Dr. Linda Marks. I'm sorry, Vice Mayor. Get used to I never remember.
Mr. Klopp, I have a question for you. Was a traffic study completed before this was brought before the commission?
Before the change in the condition?
Before the project was brought before the commission originally?
It is my understanding, yes. What level of traffic study was performed, I'm not certain, but it's my understanding that there was a traffic study done when this was presented 2 months ago to the City Commission.
Did the traffic study include the fact that some cars would be on US 1 and others would be on Dixie Highway?
I'm certain it would have.
So now what we're being asked to do will increase traffic because now there's only one street that this project will be utilizing to get in and out. Is that correct?
Depending on how the access is obtained for the north entrance, it will not increase traffic, it will distribute traffic potentially differently. That distribution of traffic potentially could be the same if they obtain a driveway off of Biscayne Boulevard approval from DOT, or the distribution of traffic could be slightly different because there would be more access through 209th Street.
Oh, but it could be that by not having that street go all the way through, that we would have an increase in traffic. It would likely result until this street is resolved. I mean, would that be safe to assume?
The specific words, an increase in traffic, I would have to say no.
There would be more
difference in traffic.
Since there is no way to access the property from Dixie Highway or leave the property, would one be able to say that all traffic would be utilizing US 1 until they make a turn into the property?
If we can...
You know, we also have our former development director who was here during the past 2 meetings. And if at any time there's something you want to weigh in because you've got the historical perspective on the property and you were there when the traffic study was presented, just feel free to come to the microphone.
So if I could, can you see the mouse as I move it? So the entrance that will have less access is here. The size of the building, the amount of traffic that this building will generate will not change. Where this traffic has to enter and leave from could change, but it would not change in a way that would increase traffic on Biscayne Boulevard. It would change in a way that would increase traffic to the west, because there's a potential that more cars will need to access it from the west if they're unable to access it from Biscayne Boulevard.
That makes no sense.
Okay.
Respectfully. That's fine. You've answered my question. Essentially, there could, okay, I understand.
Okay.
There will be traffic on US 1. There has to be because...
Of course.
Okay. Let me go on then to an item. Actually, it's page 6 of page 14 of 14 pages for our attorney. and it's item 5, letter V. And it says that provide in form satisfactory to the city manager and city attorney and record at its expense in the public records of Miami-Dade County an easement in favor of the city over the vacated right-of-way of Northeast 213. Will that be able to be accomplished at this point?
And Vice Mayor, you're addressing that question too?
I'm actually asking the attorney, I believe.
Mr.
Yes,
Attorney,
where you, what page you're referring
Page
to?
6 of page 14.
6 of 14, yeah, that's the adopted resolution that was adopted previously you're referring to.
Correct, but there are, obviously, there will not be ownership at this moment of that land. So I want to understand how they're going to grant an easement before they own the property.
All right, well, they have to comply with the prior resolution unless modified by this one, and they've only requested limited modifications. So the applicant would have to address
so I think
any
I have
other
to
issue
ask
of
the
compliance.
attorney.
Many things have already been complied with, but the prior resolution was Resolution 2020-09. They've only asked for very limited amendments to it, and we have not previously heard of an issue of them asking for relief from any of the other conditions.
Happy to answer.
okay, the attorney representing the client is at the microphone. Mr. Marrero?
Good evening again. So just before I even answer, just generally speaking, I just want everyone to understand that nothing from the plan of what was planned at that point has not changed in any way. Everything is moving. Frankly, there was a little bit of a delay because of COVID, but at this point, at a very fast pace. The only difference here is that the lender identified this condition as an issue to get the additional lending necessary to complete this current project. As a result, we've worked with staff and are coming to you to modify that condition to alleviate that reservation by the lender, allow the rest of the lending on the current construction to proceed. There is, and staff was very smart to put a fallback position because obviously there is this theoretical scenario that if something were to happen, they need access. You can't approve a project without access. There's no intention to go without alternative access. The intention very much remains the same, which includes the full construction of what was up there before, 213th Street. Nothing has changed. In fact, we are stronger in that position than we were then. We're further along with that project. But as you know, my client, Bernardo Reber, who's somewhere back there, Bernardo is the principal for 1212 Aventura, and he's obviously the spearheading principal of the Medical District North project. So for him to move on to that second project, he needs to complete this one. And this condition is just kind of causing that issue. So as to your question about traffic, we think that the traffic study back then still showed the majority of the trips coming from Biscayne. That really doesn't change. But in reality, we don't believe that's ever going to happen, this alternate scheme. What's going to happen is what we've all envisioned and what we all hope will happen. And our desire and our ability to make that happen is stronger today than it was 14 months ago. But without getting the rest of the lending to build this current project, it really throws a wrench in the whole thing. So this alleviates that concern from the lender. This particular condition was the one identified. We believe we have a solution that addresses it and gives the city some protection. And then off to the races, we're going to get this thing done. My client couldn't be more excited about finishing this project, but getting this done today is a critical step there. So
I have a few more things.
I recognize you, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let me first qualify this. My role as a commissioner is to ensure that from a city perspective, we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's. And I understand the assurances, and believe me, I support the project.
Sure.
But I also feel that there are a couple of things in here that may need tweaking, because what I am understanding is we initially gave a lot of support to the project, including it's dense. We understand it's dense because it costs more to build, but it is dense. And as we gave, you also gave, and we met. And one of the things that was important to the city was obtaining that street that goes through. One of the things that was important to you was obviously the density. And I understand all of that. But there are a couple of little words here and there that are not protecting the city at this point. One, for sure, is you can't convey an easement that you don't own. Well, at least I don't know if you can.
If I could respectfully provide a clarification and a little bit different answer than the esteemed attorney. The answer to the question is yes, they will be able to do that. That is an easement on the south side, which was previously public right-of-way, vacated to them by the city and will now be given back through an easement. So the answer to that question is
So this easement is not the parcel of land that we are discussing?
correct. It is not.
So so there is no language anywhere in here that discusses providing an easement of the land that they are planning to obtain?
That will be right-of-way dedication, and the language that is discussed is what we are amending.
Okay, then having said that, if we look at page 2 of 8 under the resolution, that talks about the fact that, and I'm going to just read this part, until completion of construction of the road extension, the applicant shall provide to the city an irrevocable letter of credit in the form satisfactory to the city manager, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But it doesn't say when that's going to happen. And I think it needs to say that effective immediately. Because if not, we're again not protected, the city is not protected, because without that specific definition of when, you guys can, you know. But we need to add the language that would say until completion of construction. We need a few words before that to just say effective immediately and until completion.
Mr. Walpin?
If I could address.
Please.
That is certainly what the language means, but if desired, the text could be amended to state effective immediately and until completion of construction. That phrase could certainly be added if desired.
So how do we include
We'll
that?
take care of it. As always, those small edits can be taken care of, Mr. Attorney?
Correct. That'll be, for the record, that'll be added to the resolution if adopted.
Okay. All right. So you go on.
No, immediately means sort of like now. So just if we could have a period of time to literally go get the letter. I just want to make clear, I'm not,
We weren't talking about tonight at this meeting. We were talking about in the morning, our attorney will get in touch with you and you will work out whatever needs to be.
Thank you.
Okay? I just want to say for the record, I am so excited, and I thank you. I agree with every concern you've mentioned. I also have to say I am so excited about this project and the possibility of having the 214th go through, and that our hospital district, once not the finest part of Aventura, will probably turn into one of the biggest successes that we have. And I will say, for the record, for me, the last thing I want to see is a half-finished building sitting on Biscayne Boulevard for I don't know how many years. So I am going to trust that Mr. Marrero and Mr. Walpin will put in the language necessary, not just for Vice Mayor Marks, but for every member of this commission, for our city. And I trust that it will be done tomorrow or, within whatever time frame it is necessary. Is there anyone else that would like to have a comment? Commissioner
Mayor,
Narotsky.
can I say-
Commissioner Narotsky.
I just wanted to say that, Dr. Marks, I think it's wonderful that you nitpick on the details, because I've seen, even though it's, everybody just wants to push it through, I think it's important because countless times things hinge on a word or two. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. Then if I don't see any other commissioners wanting to talk at this time, I'm going to open the item for public comment. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address it? I don't see anyone from the public wishing to address it. Then I'm going to ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
Motion
Yes.
passes.
Congratulations.
Thank you all very much. Can't wait. As much as you're dying to see this project, this gentleman right here very much wants it to be a reality too. So we can't wait to make that happen. Have a great evening. It's
Neither can
wonderful
we.
to be back here.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Okay. Item 8, ordinances, first public reading. I'm going to request the city attorney to read the ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A, Aventura City Commission, acting in its capacity as the governing board for the Aventura City of Excellence School, ACES, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending ordinance number 2020-04, which ordinance adopted a charter school operating and capital budget for the Aventura City of Excellence School for fiscal year 2020-2021, July 1 through June 30th, by revising the 2020-2021 fiscal year budget document as outlined in Exhibit A attached hereto, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to carry out the aims of this ordinance and providing for an effective date.
Can I please have a motion for the approval of this item made by Commissioner Friedland, seconded by Commissioner Shelley? I'm going to request the city manager to review the item.
Thank you, Mayor. ACES, the first item and item B, this is an annual event where we do a budget amendment at the end of the year to account for expenses or revenues that came in above or below what we expected. In ACES, there was a budget amendment. We're asking for $314,694. Most of the expenses that we're talking about that exceeded the budget were due to COVID-related expenses, such as buying OWL cameras, providing more tutors, mental health counselors, additional teacher laptops, Chromebooks, and all these things that we did purchase and do at the school. We received CARES funding from the federal government and an ESSER grant. So none of the expenses that we're talking about here, the city had to put in or provide. All this money was covered through federal grants.
Okay. Let me ask if there are any members of the commission that have any questions for the city manager about this budget. Okay, I'm going to open the item for public comment. Anyone from the public wish to address us? I'm going to close the item for public comment, and I'm going to ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I'm going to request the city attorney to read the ordinance item A. Am I right? B.
Thank you, Mayor. Item B, Aventura City Commission acting in its capacity as the governing board for the Don Sofa Aventura High School, DSAHS, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending ordinance number 2020-05, which ordinance adopted the Don Sofa Aventura High School Budget Fund 191 for fiscal year 2020-2021, July 1 to June 30th, by revising the 2020-2021 fiscal year budget document as outlined in Exhibit A attached hereto, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to carry out the aims of this ordinance and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I need to ask for a motion for approval made by Commissioner Landman, seconded by Commissioner Friedland. I'm going to request the city manager to please review the item.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, similar to the last amendment, this is an annual cleanup amendment that books revenue or expenses above and beyond or below what we expected. In this case, $428,168 is the budget amendment for Don Sofa High School. Of that money, $401,000 was through grants and grant funding. An additional $173,000 was received for the students that did such a great job. They're sitting out there, some of them, for passing AP and Cambridge exams that results in some funding back to the school. There was offsets on the other side of the aisle on the expenses. We did not sell as much food this year because there was less students in the school. There was professional services and COVID-related expenses. Again, I'll say there was no money from the city that had to be used to balance this budget. This was done all through CSP and ESSER grants funding and additional funding from school-related testing.
Thank you. Thank you. Do any members of the commission have any comments or questions? Okay, let me open the item to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions or comments? Seeing as there's none, I'm going to close it to public comment, and I'm going to ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weissman?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. We have no resolutions, public hearings tonight, so we go on to item number 11, which is reports. I'm going to ask, are there any members of the commission, unless I've done something? I don't. Okay, let's see. Wait, I may not have it. Nope.
Are you missing the page?
I guess.
Here, Mayor.
Roll.
Mayor, here.
My page is different. Yeah, I don't have it.
Mayor, here.
Bob, just hit.
Yeah, just take mine.
Number 9.
I don't know, but I can't do what I don't have. So what would you like me to do?
Would be this, but you could use this.
Okay, under ordinances, second reading. Is that what you want me to do? I'm going to request the city attorney to read the ordinance.
Charter School Operating and Capital Budget for the Aventura City of Excellence School for fiscal year 2021-2022, July 1 through June 30th, pursuant to Section 4.05 of the City Charter, authorizing expenditure of funds established by the budget, providing for budgetary control, providing for personnel authorization, providing for gifts and grants, providing for amendments, providing for encumbrances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion for approval? Made by Commissioner Evans, seconded by Vice Mayor Dr. Linda Marks. Can I ask the city manager to review it?
Yes, Mayor, thank you again. This is the second reading. We presented a balanced budget in the amount of $10,558,599 to operate and educate 1,032 children of Aventura. This budget covers all the expenses and revenues that will go into doing that. Most of our operating expenses were kept very flat this year. However, most of the increase in the budget this year was primarily due to, or for salary increases for teachers. The city made a referendum contribution of $197,000 to enhance salary and enhance teacher salaries, as well as the capital improvements that we have planned for this year is replacing some air conditioning on the roof and some technology increases or replacements over in the school this year.
Do any members of the commission have any questions for the city manager? Okay, I'm going to open the item for public comment. Is there anyone in the public that wishes to address the commission on this item? Seeing as there are none, I'm going to close it to public comment, and I'm going to ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weissman?
Yes.
The motion passes on second and final reading.
Okay, now we will go to reports. Are there any commissioners that have any?
You got one more. One more.
Would
9B? Okay. I guess a page just got left off. All right, can I request the city attorney to read 9B?
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, adopting the Don Sofa Aventura High School Budget Fund 191 for fiscal year 2021-2022, July 1 through June 30th, pursuant to Section 4.05 of the City Charter, authorizing expenditure of funds established by the budget, providing for budgetary control, providing for personnel authorization, providing for gifts and grants, providing for amendments, providing for encumbrances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Can I have someone make a motion for the approval of this ordinance made by Commissioner Friedland, seconded by Commissioner Evans? I'll request the city manager to review the item.
Thank you again, Mayor. This balanced budget is in the amount of $5,915,678, and that's based on educating 620 children this year or next year. That is also to operate and educate our students. Most of the increases this year, unlike ACES, it's due and driven mainly because the increase in the amount of students. So we're going to see an increase of 13 personnel in teachers and some administrative staff, salary increases, a referendum contribution by the city to the teachers for salary, and of course there's more money needed for testing for the materials that go into testing for Cambridge and AP. And we expect that. These are all expected changes and expected increases in the budget.
Okay. Anyone from the commission want to address the city manager on this item? Okay, then let me ask the public. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the commission on this item? Seeing as there's none, I'm going to close the item for public comment, and I'm going to request that the city clerk do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Narotsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weissman?
Yes.
The motion passes on second and final reading.
Thank you. Which now, City Attorney, I can move to item 11. Thank you so much. Item 11 and reports.
Mayor, can I just, before we go any further?
We can put another item
No,
in.
it's
Yes,
not
sir.
enough. It's just, I would like to thank Brian Reducci, who couldn't be here tonight. He had a family emergency. He had to leave, so he couldn't be here. But a lot of work goes into preparing this budget, and he works very closely with John Mark from CSC, Charter School USA. I don't know if he's still out there.
John's right here.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and a lot of things go on at this time of the year between audits, these budgets, and preparing for the capital improvement plan and just general operating budget for the city. So I just want to thank him, and he also was recognized again for excellent in financial reporting for the city. So that was really it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We all appreciate that. Commissioner Shelley?
Yeah, I'd like to. We are dealing with a nightmare in the South, obviously, with the water sewer project.
Can I ask you 1 second?
Sure.
Because, all right. Yeah, you can, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
you can
that's
go
okay.
on. I just wanted to make sure that there was nothing else other than
I'm sorry.
reports. Go on.
And it seems that for whatever the reason, it's nothing to do with the city. Obviously, the county water sewer are doing this project, but it's affecting probably a third of our community. And it doesn't seem that the county has given a whole lot of thought to how they're going to direct traffic, emergency vehicles, what's going on in that whole area, access, ingress, getting out. And it's literally become a bottleneck of danger. And I'd like to see if there's something, Ron, that you can do to put some pressure on them, either to work round the clock, get some extra manpower going on out there, get better traffic control. I mean, they keep saying they're fixing traffic lights. I go down that road every day. Those lights have not changed. They have not adjusted them. The timing is no better. And it's a very serious problem, and they are just taking us for granted. So I really believe that there's so many thousands of people, life safety issues going on here. You cannot get out of that area. If God forbid there's an emergency, you can't get a vehicle in and you can't get out. So I would appreciate it if you would put some pressure down there and do something for them to work with traffic, to do something with the traffic signalization, get more manpower going on, whatever it is, because I do not believe from what I'm seeing out there, they're doing a thing to help us.
Okay.
Would I be able to suggest that we invite Commissioner Hayman to our next workshop so that we can address it directly with the county?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm just worried that every day is so critical.
I agree.
Whatever we can do now, I wouldn't wait as long as possible. Get it done. Whatever you have to do, Ron, we must get something done out there, especially with the traffic and the signalization issues.
One of the things that we recognized is, and it's really, Joe Kroll's still in the audience, he changed their method of how they were doing the construction, and it was a big increase to their budget, almost $1 million, which they had to get approval for, but they acquiesced to that. So instead of backfilling with dirt, they're backfilling with flowable fill, which has really pushed the job ahead of schedule, thank God. But I will be happy to follow up with all the things you mentioned.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Ron.
I think Commissioner Shelley spoke on behalf of the entire commission. This issue is every day becomes more problematic. And the safety to life issues and the calls that I get about fire rescue's ability to go in there, it's really something we do need to address with the county and the powers that be there, because it is a county project. Okay, anyone else want to report? Commissioner Landman.
Just very briefly, for anyone who's watching or anyone here who has children, our summer camp registration is open. There's a lot of options for kids, a lot of great opportunities. And we also have our graduation parade. I'm happy to see Michael Stern here. And we have our graduation parade, class of 2021 and done, on May 19th at 6 p.m. I'm excited. Last year was a great success, and I'm sure this year will be a great year as well to celebrate seniors in a unique way and all of their accomplishments. So looking forward to that celebration.
Anyone? Vice Mayor Linda Marks.
I just want to mention that today actually is National Teacher Appreciation Day. And we appreciate teachers not only today, but every single day. And I just want to say that this year has been such a challenge for our students and our staff. And everyone has done the very best that they can do given incredibly challenging circumstances. So I just want to send a shout out on behalf of the commission to all teachers, both in our city and throughout the U.S., because really we thank them. And we thank our students for being so patient and learning under these challenging circumstances. So it's a great day to just recognize education.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Okay, then I'm going to open this meeting to the public hearing, and I'm going to request the city attorney to review with commission members the purpose of this item.
Thank you, Mayor. On the public comment portion, the rules of the city provide this is a time where the public is invited to give input and comments. However, it is not a time for the commission to engage in dialogue or discussion with the person providing the information. Instead, if any follow-up action is necessary, the city manager will follow up on the concerns of the residents and others subsequent after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm opening the item for public comment, and anyone who wishes to address the commission, you're going to have to come up and state your name and address. Come on.
Good evening, all. My name is Adriana D'Ambrogio. I live on 183rd Street, over there, Williams Island Boulevard.
I need your address.
2851 Northeast 183rd Street, apartment? Okay, so yes, it's been a nightmare. I've seen stuff that I've never seen in my life. I've seen people trying to go the wrong way. I've seen people cursing at each other. I've seen people screaming at each other, offending each other. It's getting really nasty. And I'm the only one that showed up from the building, but if I can speak on their behalf, everybody agrees with me. It's a nightmare. And if you guys could could please help. I mean, even like maybe work at night, because Aventura doesn't have much of a nightlife. So maybe, I've been here forever, I know. I've been here since '99. So maybe have the workers work at night. They're telling us a year. We're almost into, 2022 is coming, and a year? I could understand if this was like some other place far, far away, but Aventura, no, I can't accept that. And I appreciate you bringing that up, sir, or whoever. You, yes, thank you. Yes.
No, I was just going to say, remember, this is not a city project.
Okay.
We don't have authority over it, unfortunately. Yes. If we did, it would be scheduled.
But you have a voice.
We have voice, but you have much more voice than we have. Okay, and I'm telling you that. As residents, you have much more voice than we have.
Okay.
We live there too. I've got 1, 2, 3 commissioners sitting right here that have to do it every time they leave their apartments. They're very aware of it. I've gone by twice a day. The city manager goes by. Our police are involved. We will continue, as we said, to work with the county. We will invite our commissioner. When we do, it would be great to have as many residents as we can here to talk and to explain, from their perspective, just how dangerous the situation is, but whether it's up to the county, honestly, on how they're running this project. I too agree. I'd like to see it going 24 hours and shortening the time, but right now they're the ones driving this. And make your voices known.
Okay.
Make your voices known.
What would you suggest as a average
Sally
citizen?
Heyman is the commissioner on the county commission that represents this area.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I would go with your commissioner. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Because remember, the commission doesn't report to the mayor in the county at all. So I would start with your commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
And we will invite her to our workshop. Mr. City Manager, if she accepts the invitation, you'll post it so our residents will know, correct? Okay.
Good.
Next person, Mr. Stern.
I'm Michael Stern, 207 30 Northeast 30th Place. I love the timer. It's something new. Thank you, Commissioner Lemon, for mentioning the graduation parade. So 2 weeks from tomorrow is the parade. For those of you who were there last year, you know it is an extremely special moment. I think it's an opportunity to really make this city shine. So with that, I would really ask the commission to try to get the word out. I think flooding the streets with people, with now that COVID is a little bit less of a restriction, having people on their balconies will make it even more special. So your support to help get the word out would be great. I'm sure that we're going to get enough kids there, but having the streets lined, I think, is going to really be important. So thank you for that.
Mr. Stern, the city manager and I were talking about that earlier this evening before this meeting started, and everyone here knows how special that night was last year. So we will work very hard for this.
Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask, did you get the flyer for Williams Island? Did you get it at One Island Place? Because I will tell you, the Point has not received any literature to share with our community.
I don't know what flyer you're referring to.
I believe
the graduation?
Right. I believe that we had gotten a notice that the flyer was going to go out to all of the buildings, but I don't.
Let me have the city manager.
I'll follow up. We sent that to all the property managers. I will follow up with your building manager.
Did you get it at Williams Island? Yeah, I'm afraid it didn't get out for whatever reason.
Okay, then as you heard, the city manager says circle back around and we will double check that.
Thank you.
Absolutely double check it. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the commission from the public? Yes, Mr. Weinberg.
Yes, Howard Weinberg, 3370 Northeast 193 Street. I was going to say, before you start the clock, Madam Mayor, just a moment of personal preference, personal courtesy. I'm so happy that you honored Joe Kroll, and it was, I don't know how many years ago that I got a call from Joe when he saw that their job opportunity was there. We have a shared history in Surfside. I was more than happy to recommend him to the manager, and to see it work out so well is just absolutely wonderful. So Commissioner Shelley, that's a great segue to what I wanted to mention. I've been asked by several residents in the affected areas to speak, so I'm actually saving time because I told them I would speak on their behalf. I'm sure you all saw the email that I sent to you before the sewer infrastructure project started, and it was apparent that it was going to be a nightmare. And now that it's a reality, our worst fears, I think, have been realized. So I just want to reiterate a couple of steps that I believe you can implement quickly and effectively. The first thing, of course, is the freebie. There are 4 of them becoming available very soon. We contracted for 2, but we're in a new reality now. There will be 4 vehicles. Conservatively speaking, if those are running, we can take 300 cars a day off those streets. Is that a solution? No. Does it help? Absolutely. How are we going to pay for it? The transportation tax. Whatever has to be done. Reallocate the circulator funds during this crisis. Hold off on a repaving or a curb improvement for now. Be creative. Just don't tell those people in traffic every day that we don't have the money. Okay? Discuss it at your next. I'm happy to hear you're going to invite Sally. I was going to implore you to put this on your agenda for the May workshop. Discuss it. Empower the mayor. Empower the manager to be creative. And the mayor and the commission will listen to him and implement. Those vehicles are becoming available if we ask for them. Next, the county said it would be a year. Some of you may remember that's what they told us about the library after Wilma. That was a 10-year project. We cannot go through that again. It must be expedited. So the second thing I think you can implement, you must demand bi-monthly updates from the county. Form an ad hoc committee that demands live updates. Things are different now. We have a county mayor that promised us we won't just be a donor community anymore. I stood shoulder to shoulder with her while she campaigned. I know you did too, Madam Mayor. And she told us we're not just a donor community anymore, and I believe her. We have Sally Heyman. She has pledged her support. We have Joe at Public Works. We have Brian at the police department. And then our secret weapons. We have our talented, successful, capable residents. We have people that live in the affected areas that want to help and want to serve on a committee. I'm going to just mention 2 of them because they're so valuable. They stand out.
Let me stop you for a minute because the time has run out. I'm going to ask the city attorney and every other entity that I know of if the members of the commission would approve to allow him to have another minute because he asked for personal privilege when he talked about Joe Kroll. So I don't know how we handle it here.
Yes, the majority of the commission could consent to do that if desired.
I would request that 1 more minute.
How many people, just show hands. I'm not going to do a roll. How many people will give him the 1 minute? Fine. Go on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. 2 wonderful residents that have asked me how can they help and specifically said they want to serve on a committee. The first one that really stands out is Truly Burton. If you don't know her, she is truly a force of nature, pun intended. Every day from Williams Island, she's in the traffic twice a day to get to her position as the Executive Vice President of the Builders Association of South Florida. She interacts weekly with WASA, with the County Public Works, at the highest level. She knows all of them. She will sit on a committee where she will get updates and expedite this project. She called me from the traffic and said, how can I help? She pleaded with me. The second one that you should be aware of is Bruce Davidson. In his capacity as a board member at the Courtyards of Aventura, right on 183rd Street, he was able to organize a meeting already with WASA, Miami-Dade Public Works, Sally's office, Aventura Police, Aventura Public Works, and others. He did this on his own. You know what he found out? They're coming into his complex to go to the pump station. They're ripping up his streets too. No one had ever told him that. These people are available, so I just implore you, I know you all want to do the right thing, and we know it's not your doing, and we know it's not the city's fault, but look for solutions, find ways to expedite this project, and speak about it at your workshop, please. Thank you very, very much for the
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Ethan?
Ethan, I would just ask you not to provide your home address since you are a minor.
Thank you.
But your name?
My name's Ethan Mazak. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. I know it's not every day that a teenager comes to address the Commission, but I just want to bring a pressing issue to your attention. So growing up in the city of Aventura, I've walked the circle, I've come home from school, and I've seen that flashing cross lights are one big issue. A lot of people do not stop at those lights, and you know, it's just a very big threat to not only pedestrians, but to a lot of youth who are walking back from school or who are getting off the bus and just trying to get home. I've seen it numerous times, at least a dozen times, where a kid who, you know, maybe somebody who's not paying attention is driving at a speed where they might just miss the kid. They see nothing but a yellow light, and I honestly think that the fact that it is a yellow light might derogate them from stopping to speeding up, because I know a lot of people use the opportunity of a yellow light to speed up, to maybe catch a light. So I think if the flashing light could be turned to red, I know if you guys don't have the authority, if it has to go higher up the chain, just so that people know that if we had maybe a red light as opposed to a yellow light, just to get the idea out there that red means stop, and they have to stop for these pedestrians, for these minors who are just trying to get home from school every day. This is a threat that shouldn't be happening to our youth, and I'm honestly just happy to have the opportunity to report this. Thank you.
Ethan, thank you so much. Our city manager and our public works director will be getting back to you. Is there anyone else? I don't see hands, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn, made by Commissioner Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Landman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Aye.